Alright, to whoever might be out there watching this tutorial. So what I'm going to try and do is build a Flutter login app using Firebase, but I'm going to build it in such a way whereby I can use it on any project. So it's going to be like one of my universal codes that I use on every app. As you may already know, nowadays it's very difficult to do Firebase authentication because of the way they have updated, whereby it is required to to use your Android what is it called, Android developer something. It's so complicated. I haven't even memorized what I'm supposed to say, but essentially there is this thing called device authentication. So nowadays it's mandatory, so it's quite a headache to implement it. So that's why I'm making this app. The main idea is that I use this on every of my project. So on all of my projects, I'm going to just load this startup file, so I don't have to start from scratch. So I usually have source codes like this that I use, but unfortunately the previous ones are already outdated. So welcome to the new world. Nowadays they're updating things every now and then, every week. Like if you had your source code that is like let's say 6 months old, nowadays I mean it's almost useless. So let's see how we're going to do. Let's see how we're going to do about this. So yeah, so I'm going to show you a shortcut of how I'm going to do this. So what I usually do, I usually use the following tools. I use Figma. And then for my user interface, I use pub.dev to get my starter code, and then I use this software called TheWise. So TheWise is going to help me accurately convert my Figma interfaces into Flutter source code. So there are so many tools that can do this, but TheWise is actually the most accurate one. So here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to load these tools. Yeah, I'm just going to show you my entire process and how I do everything that I do. Alright, so let's start with here. We're going to start with Firebase authentication. Let's search. I need to make sure I have Android Studio already opened. I have my emulator. So Flutter plugin for Firebase authentication, enabling authentication passwords, phone numbers, and identity providers like Google, Facebook, and Twitter. So yeah, so I can use this package as you can see. Wait, I need to check something here. Just so preview widgets library integrated with a variety of Firebase authentication providers. Let me see. Interesting. Anyway, so we're going to use this one. So once we come here, we're going to I'm going to install the latest one. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to versions. 17 days ago. Should I trust this one? Anyway, I'm going to download the latest one. It's usually not recommended to download the latest one, as you know, problems can come. So I'm going to download it. So inside this file, we'll extract. There's usually an example file, so this is going to help me to not start from scratch. So example file. Okay, so before I do anything, I need to make sure that this is working. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this, I'm going to rename it into FIREBASE auth. Let's call it A, because I have so many of these files already. And then I'm going to copy it on my local disk C. For simplicity, I usually put all of my projects here. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my FIREBASE. I'm in my Android Studio. I'm going to open a recent project. Reload. FIREBASE, here it is. So I'm not going to open this one. I'm going to open the example file. So this is the plugin. Usually they have the example file inside. So I'm going to open the example file. Okay, we'll do that, of course, opening this window. So I just need to make sure everything is working perfectly. So I'm going to, I need to make sure my antivirus is not going to be interfering in my project. Alright, so let's do a simple pub get, and then I am using Genymotion, what do you call this, virtual device. The reason I'm using Genymotion and not the internal Android Studio is because my PC doesn't support. There's this thing about my PC is very old. In fact, all I do is just continuously customize it, but unfortunately the processor in my PC doesn't support Android. I don't know, it's called virtualization or something. So instead I'm using Genymotion, and you can select from all kinds of devices. Genymotion, setting up Genymotion is a pain, but it's worth it for me. So here's Genymotion. If you want to download Genymotion, you can just come here and download Genymotion, but we're not going to be doing that today. Instead, we're just going to be concentrating on this, building this. And yeah, so I have two devices here. You can have as many devices as you want. So I'm just going to start this device as I am loading. By the way, if you're a complete beginner, I'm sorry, because I'm not going to explain every single step. Example, I just pressed here pub-get. I'm not going to explain what does it mean to do pub-get, but just in case, I'm just downloading. When you're building Flutter apps, you're usually just using plugins. So all these are just plugins or dependencies. So here's they've just been listed, I should say. So when I press pub-get, I am downloading these dependencies so that they are on my local machine. Okay, so as you can see, it went well. And the reason why I'm going to use Figma for my UI, you're going to see, because this doesn't have a good UI, and I'm using this so that I I don't start from scratch. So as you can see, there are no errors here. If you do Flutter apps, you know that sometimes when you do pub-get, get errors. Okay, so I have a problem here. I'm just going to close it and start it again. Sometimes Genymotion might require you to restart your PC, so if that happens, then we have to close this live session and restart the PC so that this thing can work. But most of the times it's not a problem. Okay, so we're going to have a problem. Okay, we're not going to have a problem. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to do the painful task of building this example file into my emulator. But while I do that, I'm going to be building the UI using Figma and VUIs. So I'm just going to leave this. This is going to take like 30 minutes or so. It usually takes a long time. And considering I'm doing so many things on this PC, I am streaming, I am opening Android Studio, Genymotion all at once. So I'm just going to run this, and yeah, it's going to take some time. So as it's wasting its time, I'm going to use VUIs and Figma. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go, let me just go Figma. I'm going to open a new project on Figma, and then I'm going to be taking some of these screens. This is from somebody else's project. I think I cloned it. Okay, here we go. So okay, I'm going to name it Universal Login. Okay, so it's very easy. All you have to do is just come here. I'm going to look at a page that I like, Okay, so an app usually has a, what do you call it? It usually has what's that page? Splash page, login page, registration page, and I think that's all. Okay, so something's happening. My PC is now becoming very slow. But anyway, it's because I'm building stuff here on Android Studio. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to select this page. I'm going to press Ctrl C on my keyboard to copy, and then where is okay? So I'm going to come here. I'm going to press Ctrl V. There we have it. Instagram authorization. So this is my I'm going to call it login. I'm going to put capital letters because I like it that way. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to paste this page. I'm going to select here, Control C, then Control V. Okay, I need to undo. I need to make sure we don't get confused when pasting. I want to paste it like a new page, okay? Then we're going to call this splash. I'm going to change the design later. I'm going to make this a splash page. And you know what? Let me just arrange them according to how they usually flow in the app. Then I'm going to call this copy it, then paste. I'm going to call this registration. Then as I'm here, I'm just going to be deleting some of these things, some of these elements. Just going to put this here. I think I need a logo to replace with this. Okay, so you know what? Let's make this even heavier. Let's open Photoshop. I'm going to take my logo because it's white. Open with Photoshop. Let's see if it doesn't crash. I'm going to have a black logo and a white logo, but now I need a black logo, so that's why I'm doing this. It's taking forever. Okay, so yeah, let's do this. Let's change it to black. Color overlay, you know what, a gray and a black one. Okay, let's do this. Let's first start with gray. Sometimes you usually need a gray logo for some reason. You know, sometimes black doesn't work. I'm going to change it black. I mean gray. Okay. Gray. Okay, once it's done saving, it's at 0%. Okay, so let's change the color to black. My PC is at maximum capacity right now. I'm like clicking this and it's taking seconds to do anything. I need to finish this quickly so that I don't overload the PC. Okay, was that pure black? Anyway, most of the time I usually don't like using pure black for some reasons. I think it's usually visually pleasing when it's not entirely black. So we're going to use that blackish color. Save as PNG. Okay, I think that will be enough. Let's close. Let's wait. I mean, it's done saving. Let's close Photoshop. Okay, we're done. Okay, so I'm going to replace these logos with hello? Okay. Just making sure we have sound. Okay, so let's do this. So one thing you have to make sure is that when you upload this image, you need to make sure you put it in the exact page. One of the things I made in Figma, just put it. It visually looks like it's here on this splash page or login page, but it's not. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Okay. Delete this one. Hold Shift. All right. So as you can see, it's in the splash page. It's here within this page. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to first of all, let me just delete. so wait, where's my image? I think it's usually easier for me to just drag and drop. It goes exactly where I want it to be. Login page, yeah, login page. There we have it. Hold shift. I'll usually just size it up with my eyes. And sometimes when you don't layer this properly, when you convert them to Flutter, they usually don't look as good. Anyway, since I wanted to duplicate the page so that I can have consistency, because on these two pages, but anyway, this login and registration page to have consistency, but you know what, let's just leave it like that. We're gonna have a problem here. I want this okay, just wanted to make sure. I wanted to make sure about something. Why is it grayed out? Strange. Okay, so we have missing fonts here, but anyway, why is this grayed out? By the way, one of the problems that you're going to face is with the fonts once you convert them to Flutter. So this font is missing. Okay, I'm just going to find let's look for another font. Yeah, that's not a nice font, by the way, but let's go with Advent Pro. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, let's search for one of those free fonts, Google Material fonts. Free Google Material fonts. Anyway, let's use Roboto, because this is another one. It usually looks good on apps. I'm not sure. Was it Montserrat? And yeah, I've used Poppins a lot on apps. Anyway, Poppins has a classy look when you use it on apps. Let's see if we can use. We can use. Okay, select font, and let's see if we have Poppins. Let's go with regular. Spending so much time on this page. Anyway, we're going to make changes once we view it in the app, but I'm checking to see if, yeah, okay, nothing has happened. That's when I need to check to see there's no errors, especially out of memory error. So yeah, still nothing. So okay, take me back please, without crashing. Let me log in or log in. Yep. Should I go with bold, regular? Let's just go with medium or semi-bold. Most of the time, the way it looks like right now, it's not going to be the way it looks like when you load it in the app. So that is what is making me, trying to imagine how is it going to look like once I have it in the app. So okay, so what I'm going to do, I think I should just delete this page because I want to have consistency. So I'm going to delete that, make sure I see what's happening, so that I don't copy things in places where they're not supposed to be. And then I'm going to call this registration. Okay, so on a registration page we usually have entries, but more than these 2 entries, but okay, we need a forgot password page. Okay, that's why I needed this to load so that I can see how it looks like on this side, so I can be able to create accurately. Okay, by the way, I forgot this part here. I need to remove these. Let me just move entire layer. Okay, is it at the center? I think so. Okay, what about this? Don't think it's at the center. Damn it. Anyway, so this is just the base UI that I'm going to go with into the UIs. So okay, I need to see why this project is still considered a draft. Okay, it's not a draft anymore. So once you go to the UIs, we're going to come here and new application, create new app. Then it's going to give it a title. We're going to use let's just call it universal login. Universal login. Technology, we're going to use Flutter. Design platform, Figma. Connect your Figma account. It's going to go, allow access. There we go. So it's going to ask me to paste the Figma URL. So I'm just going to open this project and copy this URL and paste it here. VUIs, then boom, create new app. Application added. Select mobile screens. So we're going to select all. Then submit. Okay, so it's going to ask me to update the app icon. I think I should do this now. It's usually a good idea to to make the app icon as soon as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go icon kitchen, icon kitchen, icon kitchen. So my PC is actually very slow now. Okay, icon kitchen. I'm going to image, upload image. I'm going to select the white one with, and then I'm going to have a black background with the white one here. There you go. Then going to set this to black. Then barely visible. You know what? I think I'm just going to try and see what I can do. Okay, let's just do it, leave it like that. So download. Going to extract. Extract it. All right, so extracted, right? Okay, nice. VUIs. Okay, it wants dimensions. It wants those dimensions. So this is a 512. 512. Let's see if I have one. Okay, all these are lower dimensions. Guess we're going to have to use Photoshop again. Yeah, so that's the disadvantage of having a slow PC and giving it hundreds of tasks to do at once. Right, so image size. Before I close Photoshop, I need to make sure that PNG will be accepted. So if they require a JPEG, I'll just, export it right now. So anyway, so that's what you get for having a slow PC. Invest in PCs. Don't do it like me. Can you imagine? I'm just waiting for this button here to appear so that I can just press it. This is so sad. Just to do this. Wait, what? It was accepted. Okay, this is insane. So all this was for nothing. Anyway. Okay, so they did require a PNG file. Okay, next. Now you can close Photoshop. Okay, goodbye. Go. No, don't save. Application updated successfully. So this is the crazy part here. Well, this is the part, it's called state management. It's very, very important because, well, if you don't know what state management is, let's open ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT what state management is, because this is usually the part where it's very crazy for me. So we're going to copy that. I'm going to write in the context of Flutter, what is e.g. I'm going to copy them, ChatGPT usually wants as much context as possible. So state management in Flutter refers to the management of application state, ensuring that the user interface reflects the current, okay, please go back. Reflects the current state of the application. It becomes crucial as Flutter follows a reactive programming paradigm where the UI automatically updates based on changes in the application state. Here's a brief overview of the state management approaches you mentioned. Business logic component is an architecture pattern that separates the business logic of the application from its UI components. It involves creating a separate components for handling the business logic and presenting the data UI. Business logic component uses streams to handle the flow of data between components. It is often combined with the stream builder widget to update the UI based on changes in the data stream. Okay, so let's go to the GetX. GetX is a Flutter package that provides a lightweight and fast state management solution. It encompasses not just state management but also includes navigation, dependency injection, and more. GetX relies on a reactive programming approach and uses the GetX controller class to manage the state. Provider is a simple and flexible state management solution for Flutter. It is based on the concept of dependency injection and is designed to be easy to understand and use. Provider allows you to provide a value such as a data model to a widget tree, and any descendant widget can access the value using the provider of. I'm not going to read that more. Riverpod is an improvement of a provider package, and it is designed to be more scalable and testable. It introduces the concept of providers similar to provider but with additional features. Anyway, I'm not going to confuse you with any of this. So state management, or what I'm going to try and explain, and most of the time I usually don't like to use state management, but if you have a very large app, it's very important that you use one of these state management whatevers. So the reason why I don't want to use state management is because it adds complexity to my apps, and most of the time when I am making apps, at least in my experience, when I'm making apps, I'm usually dealing with people who are not that experienced in Flutter. So people want simplicity, okay? So, example, these state managements are usually very good. They make the app become light. They do a lot of these good things. But, you know, if somebody is not that experienced in Flutter and you give them an app that was made using one of these state management approaches that he or she is not familiar with, it makes collaboration very, very difficult. And it makes an inexperienced Flutter developer having a very difficult time trying to make simple changes in the apps. So most of the time when I'm making apps, I'm usually selling these apps to people, and they hire other developers to make changes in the apps. Simple customizations. So what I've realized, and in fact that is something I've experienced myself, if somebody is usually very good with provider, they are not very good with other state management, these state management approaches. So here is where we try to introduce complexity, and I really hate this because it brings back that issue that we usually faced in JavaScript, whereby you couldn't be just a JavaScript developer, but every new day there's a new JavaScript framework, and you could find yourself having to learn something new every time. So you could be good in Angular, then you're given a project in Vue, now you have to learn how Vue works, then you have to learn, I don't know, so many other JavaScript frameworks. So it started adding complexity to complexity, because this is like an open source project, so people find solutions, but at the end of the day they end up adding complexity to the main solution rather than solving problems. So this state management, what they do, they've added a layer of complexity, whereby by selecting here a state management that I'm going to use, I isolating a group of developers. And most of the time, you need to understand, if you are an active developer making money, from developing, most of the time you don't have the time to learn new skills. Imagine if you're an active developer and you're like, in short, what I'm trying to say is like, get X, it's like, for me, it's one of the easiest out of these, but it took me a lot of time to have to relearn Flutter just to understand what getX is trying to do. And that made the entire process of app development become even more complex and long, because if you're given an active project and in between you need to learn getX or business logic component or provider or riverpod, it just adds complexity. So yeah, so that's the thing. I usually just like the way it was, it was just simple. You have your Flutter pages and you can just go to the next page. I'm using navigation, whatever. But I also understand if you have a very large app, it becomes impractical. So because this project is just the universal pages, I think I'm just going to, I'm just going to select nothing. Okay, got it. Next, so am I going to integrate any of this? No. Okay. So yeah, it's just saying that it has identified some of the widgets. So yeah, let's start. So select the splash screen here. This is my splash screen. Thank you. Then we're going to select the screen next to splash, my login screen. Then submit. Okay. By the way, it has successfully loaded. So yeah, good. Where's my Android Studio? So yeah, this is the way it looks like. I need to take some screenshots. Where's screenshots? There you go. Tap. Now let's go back to the UIs. Okay, so wait. So it shows how it's going to look like. Okay. Let's see how my login page looks like. Okay. Just making sure, there's a similarity. So this is what it estimates it's going to look like. But most of the time it's not like this. But you'll see what I mean. We're going to have maybe issues with missing fonts and whatever, but so far it looks nice, because most of the time, by the time you upload it to VOIs, you usually have issues. So yeah. Okay, so let's go. Okay, now we just need to export the pages. Where's the export button? I'm not going to even, let's see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to press the build, and then I'm just going to, without state management, like I said, I'm not going to use any state management, but yeah, build without state management. Alright, so there we have it. There is our source code. We can just, preview to see. So we have our main dot. Wait, what? Okay, I thought it was empty. So we have our main dot. It looks like this. We have our app routes already connected to the routes. Our widgets. Here we have our routes. Registration screen. Most of the pages are here in the presentation. We have app presentation, the dot. Yeah. Okay, so this is just the navigation page. I forgot. So VWise usually has a navigation page whereby you can just click on this page to preview all these other pages. So we're not going to use it. I was just confused for a little bit. Then we have our pages, our login screen. See, widgets, whatever. Nice. Then we have our splash screen. Beautiful. Let's see. Okay, so I can see here, it's just, there is no code to have automatic navigation to the other page. Just making sure. Main dot. Okay, so universal login, initial route. Okay, so I think if I load this, it's just going to open the app screen, splash screen, and then do nothing. But anyway, let's see how we can use this. So okay, I need to download everything. Just okay, I think I need to go back. I'm looking for the button to download the source code. Where is that button? Nowadays you find yourself using so many tools, to the point if you don't use a tool for like a week, you forget how to use it. So I'm looking for a way to download this entire source code. Now it's just giving me an option to download the readme file. Where is that? Okay. Sorry guys, we have to see this, but I'm just trying to see where can I find. Damn it, where is it? What I'm looking for is something very simple, just a simple download button, but instead you just get it for individual files. Oh shit, here it is. download source code. Okay, so extract. I think they should make this button bigger, like it's hidden, but anyway. Okay, so so what I'm going to do, I'm going to merge this source code with my existing source code, which we already have here. Then we're going to combine it. So let's first go to main. This is our main dot. Client ID. Just having a quick run through of the code. String builder, then you have so if snapshot has data, then you can go to this profile page or auth gate, and then take me to the auth gate. I think this is the auth gate. Yeah, so it's a very simple. We have profile page, and we have auth gate. So I guess the auth gate, we have the page. So we have, this is the sign-in page with the user interface. So yeah, so essentially, because I've used this file before, essentially this page changes either you're on sign-in or registration. So let's say if I register now, it just changes to registration mode, unlike what I have done on my page, which is have 3 different pages. So sign in with phone number, it just changes on the same page, just like that. Continue as guest. Let's continue as guest and see what it does. So yeah, this is the profile page, which is this one, profile page. This is the one. And also I forgot to add the profile page, but anyway, for the app, because I'm going to have this like universal app anyway. So yeah, that's what it does. I can just sign out. If I was to add email, I think somewhere here it will appear. But later on, I'm going to show you how to integrate it with my very own Firebase project. So let's just sign out for now, and okay, let's customize this. So one thing that I usually do, which is this is a very painful way of doing it, by the way, I usually just come to this lib file, I copy everything except the main dot, copy these all, copy, then I go to my project, which is Firebase Auth 8, go to lib, and then I'm going to paste them here. Then once I paste them, I'm going to open my Android Studio, and then I'm going to see a lot of errors here. Okay, why isn't it appearing? Oh shit, sorry. Control Z. It's supposed to be on my example file. So auth 8 example, then lib, then paste them here. There we go. Then here we have them. Most of these errors are just this. It's usually this. So I'm going to copy that, I'm going to go to pubsec, then I'm going to replace in file. Replacing files, then we're going to anyway to make it simple, let's do it like this. Let's copy this entire so that it doesn't replace what I don't want it to replace. Copy that entire sentence. Okay, did I? Okay, so select find replace in files, then oops, I need to copy, so anyway, I need to copy that, but I can't, because if I click on that part it will try and close this window. So I'm going to write it manually. Firebase aus example. Okay, then replace all. Then that is going to help, but other errors are because of because we still have assets, we still have the plugins. So we have assets. I'm going to take this asset. Okay, just making sure. Paste, copy, then paste it here. Okay, good. Then now we're going to go to universal login pubsec.yaml, open. So this is where it becomes very tricky, because you'll see this file you can't just copy and paste. I don't know why, because of these spaces behind. These spaces, they need to be accurate. So okay, so you'll see what I'm trying to say. So the easiest way, I just copy one line by one line. Let's go to pubsec assets. Do we have assets here? Okay, Flutter. Flutter uses material design true. I need to find this part. On this part, no, so it's not this one. Okay, so here uses material design true. Then asset. I need to copy one line, put another. Pub assets. Okay. Line after line. Okay, then let's do pubget to see if it's accurate. Okay, so yeah, it's accurate or something. So let's go back to now fonts. Let's copy it. Just copy this part. Going to press enter, then Okay. Then we're going to add it here. Oh, this plugin. It usually gives me trouble, but anyway, we'll see. Yeah, so this is what I was trying to tell you. Unexpected key family. So this part. Can't just copy these and paste them and be fine. Okay, so far no errors, so I think we have kind of merged them. So but that's just so I've brought the views here, so let's see if it works. So let's go to my main file. This is my main file. Yeah, let's see if I what's the name of my presentation? Let's see if I can have this open. Okay, so I just want to copy this and test if it works. Okay, my computer is frozen. Anyway, so let's put it there. It's going to ask you to import. Okay. Let's restart. Just testing to see if it works, and there are no surprises. Yeah. Width has not been initialized. So we need to change this into a stateful widget. Okay, now watch as I magically fix this error without knowing how I fixed it. It's very common. You fix something, you don't know what it is, but you just fix it anyway. So I think this is the cause of the error. If I was to do this, Okay, so to make things simple, what I'm going to do is just use this page instead, but I'm going to use the UI from this page. Okay, you have a text form there. So this is the column. I mean, this is this part, this here. Oops. So let's see if I copy these two and oops, sorry, and paste them here. Okay, so I'm facing the same problem. What could it be? Height has not been initialized. I think I need to initialize this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to paste ChatGPT so that it can give me a more concise answer. So as you see, we have files straight from the UIs giving us problems, but this is usually because of different Flutter versions that we are using. So it's very common, and this is the sad part of app development. So let's do it like this. So I'm going to delete this. I'm going to select it all. Then I'm going to ask ChatGPT to help me. Okay, I think I have an idea. Okay, we have a serious problem. We have a serious problem. So guys, that's how it usually goes. You go expecting things to be the same, and it's not the same because things change. I've done this before, but most of the time they usually just update stuff, and this is a very new era for me. I've never experienced this era before. So let's see if I can do it without, this. Let's see. Okay, let's take me to this part. Anyway, let's do it like this. So I don't spend an entire eternity here. Okay. Where else? Okay, so as you can see, what happened? I just decided to use a shortcut. So yeah, text form field. So here we're going to run into a very common issue that I've run into so many times. Is that okay, I was disconnected for a while.